The last time I did a banner prediction video, I was pretty on it. And because for new or budget players, planning out your account is one of the most important things you can do. I'm going to use facts and logic to predict all the banners until Natlin. Welcome to Jello Impact, where we build and test every single character to help you decide who you want to wish for and build. So obviously we're not going to be dealing with any leaks in this video, but if you're the type of person who doesn't want to know anything about the future, my predictions have been known to be pretty scarily accurate because I kind of share Nahida's mental power, the power to control dreams. Anyway, there haven't been that many dreams or information about future banners, so as usual, the further out we go, the more speculative and unreliable it's going to be. I've started off by putting the new characters where I think they're going to be released. We obviously already got the drip marketing for Shan Yun or Cloud Retainer, so obviously she's going to be in 4.4. For 4.5, I do feel like Kiori is the most likely, unless there's going to be some surprise random 5-star. I do think that it's going to be Kiori for 4.5. They just set her up, they introduced her in the new event. It's kind of weird to me that she's not already coming next, but since the characters that we're being compared against are Clorand and Arlecchino, it feels weird to me that she would be after those characters. It's like if she was going to be after them, then they would just introduce her later. Like I feel like her event, it wasn't like a major story beat, they just threw it in. So if they're going to throw it in now, I expect her to be released soon. Yeah, the only thing that surprised me is that she wasn't already introduced. Florand and Arlecchino, I feel like they wouldn't do, I don't know. I know some people think that it's going to be more like this, like Florand will be last, but I just kind of feel like it makes more sense for the last character to be the Harbinger. That's just kind of what feels thematically relevant to me, but I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine here on when these last two, and I kind of feel like for 4.8, historically Genshin ends on the 0.8 version and skips over to the 0.0 version next. I don't think that there's going to be a new character in 4.8. I think it'll be an all rerun patch. So these are my predictions. Again, I think that earlier on is more reliable, later on is more speculative.
Subscribing to the channel fulfills the contract between the viewer and the creator. It is now time for you to subscribe and fulfill your contract.
So now we're getting into the rerun, and to make up this prediction, I used the character release timeline as a major source. I'll link it down below if you want to check it out, but it not only shows the 5-star characters and how many banners it's been since they've reran, but also the 4-star characters. So we'll maybe take a look at the 4-stars. It's been a long time since Ning Wang. We can expect her. Jin Yan, Goro have been a long time. Layla's been a while. Kave's been a really long time considering he's only had one banner especially. Yao Yao, it's been a while. So we could almost make a 4-star banner prediction too. Maybe I'll throw that in there at the end. Maybe I'll add a second column here. It could be kind of fun to see how accurate I can be with that. But 4.4, so one thing to consider is this is lantern rate. And lantern rate, traditionally a time of spending, a time of like they give money and you spend that money, and a lot of people are spending the money that they were gifted. So I expect there to be good banners for lantern rate. I think Nahida is a shoe-in. I made this prediction on my previous lantern rate video. I've been update it slightly. I still stand by Zhao coming for lantern rate, but now I'm kind of adjusting, and I think Yaimiko seems to be someone people are predicting for this banner as well. So I don't know what order these are going to be. I just put them in a random, super random order here, but that's what I think for lantern rate. Now this is something that I predicted back on my previous video, and that is we're going to introduce triple banner phases. So I think that it still could be triple banner phases. It could be another banner altogether, something else, but I still think this is going to be for lantern rate, even though nobody else is dreaming this, nobody else is predicting this. No, this is just my personal, what I think is going to happen, my prediction. I feel like Ganyu and Shenhe on a third banner, or on a special banner, or on a triple banner phases where we get these two first, then these two, then these two. I feel like it just makes too much sense. It's been so long since Ganyu's been around. It's been so long since Shenhe has been around. Both of them have been 14 and 12 banners respectively. They're both leeway characters. I'm kind of in the minority of people who think that there's gonna be a triple banner or third banner, but the reality is there's not too many patches left. If you don't start running more than 4 characters per patch, we're not gonna be able to keep up the release schedule. Like, that's just a fact. There just aren't enough spaces to keep up the release schedule if you don't increase the amount of characters rerunning in some way, shape, or form. So that's what I think. But in 4.5, I think we're getting Kiori, and I think it's gonna be the Geo Renaissance. It's been 22 patches since Albedo. It's been 19 patches since Ito, some of the longest wait for banners ever. The very longest we ever had was Eula at 27, so Albedo's not quite there, but getting kind of close. I think Albedo and Ito for 4.5 having a triple Geo patch, and I think it makes sense for Linny to rerun around here as well. It hasn't rerun since 4.0. I think Linny makes a lot of sense here. It's also been a really long time since Nilou. I just feel like it's time. Nilou's a strong and sought after character. I feel like it's been a long time since they've had any hype around Nilou, so I think Nilou makes some sense for 4.5. Again, I don't know what they're gonna do, if they're gonna put Kiori on her own banner and then have like a double banner of Nilou and Linny and a double banner of Ito and Albedo, and they'll have 3 banner phases that way, or what it's gonna be. But again, if we don't start including more than just 4 characters, then I don't see us rerunning all the characters in even a remotely timely manner. But you'll see what I mean as we start to fill things out. I think 4.6, my most confident rerun prediction is gonna be the Archon for 4.6. So far, the one pattern Genshin has not broken out of all the patterns that they broke are that the Archon reruns 4 patches after they're released, and I do not see that changing with Farina. I definitely think 4.6 makes a lot of sense. But basically, just so you guys are aware, the characters I have listed on 5.0, these are characters that have already rerun during the Fontaine patch, and I think that Genshin would like to rerun all the characters within the version, so people don't have to wait more than a year, like more than an entire version cycle. Even if they end up having to wait more than a year for a character, that they at least rerun at some point during the version cycle. Otherwise, people are just waiting way too long for those characters. It's not out of the realm of the possibility for them to keep pushing things forward, but I don't see a world where they rerun characters every 3 years. It doesn't make sense. That's too long for a new player starting to get excited about a character. That's too long for them to have a chance. A year is way over pushing it, if you're asking me. So that's why I'm assuming that they'll want to rerun all of these characters at least once during Fontaine. But I think Kokomi and Wanderer have been a while, and I think Wriothesley makes sense here because I feel like they'll rerun him sooner than Novelette and Navia, because even though he came out after Novelette, I feel like they kind of generally do this is for the really good characters. They kind of push out the rerun a little bit further and make people really wait for it if they're a really good character, especially if they're not an Archon. So I feel like Wriothesley, people aren't as hyped about him. They'll rerun him first, try and drain people's primos for Wriothesley, and then kind of drag out when they're releasing Novelette. I think they'll wait till the very end, till 4.8 to rerun Novelette. I think they'll rerun Navia before Novelette personally. I also think they really like to stack the later banners with good characters, and now I'm seeing that I was wrong. I thought there were less spots than there were. So how should we rearrange this? Maybe they save Alhaitham for here. Maybe they don't do triple banner phases. Maybe they just do Ganyu. Maybe they save Shenhe for later. I just got caught in 4K in crisis mode. I had a whole plan, and because I miscounted, my plan is ruined. Well, I stand by a lot of what I said, but I guess it is conceivable that they don't do triple banners and they just push some of these characters out to the next version. I don't see them pushing Novelette out to 5.0. There's no way they push Albedo any further. Albedo and Ito, it's been way too long. Who is most recent? Like Klee has been a pretty long time by the time it late comes around, but maybe Klee gets pushed. Maybe I'll make a hot take and we'll make Linny rerun with Arlecchino. No. Shenhe with Wriothesley, that could make a lot of sense. So maybe we'll put Shenhe with Wriothesley. We'll do a triple banner in 4.4 for Lantern Raid, a triple banner in 4.5, no triple banner in 4.6, triple banner in 4.7, and then no triple banner in 4.8, and then we start off 5.0. I think Shenhe Wriothesley could really make sense. I think Ganyu during Lantern Raid, I still like that because it's been a really long time for Ganyu. I still think the Geo characters in Nilou and Linny in 4.5 make sense. I can see Wanderer and Kokomi for some kind of like Inazuma duo type of thing. I don't know what Klee's doing here, but I think maybe Klee and Arlecchino somehow go together because they're both Pyro. I have no idea. And then I feel like they want to save a bunch of characters for later on to make a really hype and like drain all your primos before Nadlin. So Kazuha, Alhaitham, Novelette, Eula. So I think the number one takeaway for all of you guys watching who are thinking about how planning out your account and when the characters are coming, even if this list isn't exactly accurate, I still think it gives you valuable knowledge and information as to how long it's been since a lot of these characters have rerun, the kind of Genshin patterns that we've seen, at least some thought as to the triple banners or 3 banner phases or additional banners or something that has to change with the banners, because otherwise, as I said, we're gonna have 3 characters be pushed off to that won't even appear in a single version history, which I know Eula had had the longest run, but did she not appear in a single version history? Let me check that. So she appeared in 2.0 and then she appeared in 3.0. So even though she was not with us for an entire year, there still has not been an instance of a character not appearing at least once in a single version history. And so if we don't get triple banners, or if we don't get additional banners, this will be the first time ever that not one, not two, but three characters don't appear at all in all of 4.0. I think that's just unacceptable. I don't think that Genshin will go for that. I think they have to find a way for these characters to appear somewhere. I don't know where, I don't know how. Most important thing, I still think, save for your very favorite characters, and then second, save for characters that make your favorite characters' teams perform well. You don't necessarily have to get their very best team, but if a character really, really wants another character, like your favorite character is Nilou, make sure you save to get a Nahida so that your teams can feel really good. You don't have to aim for Nilou's best team, but at least if you save for some really good team options for her, that's, I think, the main thing. And just apply that to all your favorite characters. And then you can also get the staple characters if you want to make sure your account is good no matter what and you have like something to fall back on. There's 6 characters that I fully recommend building and that are really, really important to build, and you can learn about who those are in my tier list video, which I put a ton of work into. So check that out and enjoy that video. Take care. Bye for now.